Okay, so this is what it looks like when you put into numbers. So what that means is you, as an investor, you are in first position. Your loan to value at the beginning is only 64%.
Yeah.
You have 35% margins, right? And as the property value goes up, because once renovate is ongoing, then the property value is going up, right?
Right.
Your risk level come down because your loan to value, your loan amount is the same, but the property value goes up. That means your loan to value comes down.
Oh, yeah.
So your risk level is going down as time passes.
Oh,
As the project proceeds, renovation, the property is worth more and more as more of the renovation is being done, right?
Right.
And you will enjoy 8% plus return on your investments. Okay, so basically how it structures this one, let me see if it's in the next one. Oh, no. So let me talk about how I structure this one. So
Okay.
Let's say by getting 12% from my board, I may be offering you 10%. Okay, and then I'm taking that spread from you.
Right.
So that's basically how I make my money here, right? Basically, you are taking less risk.
Yeah.
You are doing no work. I'm doing all the work. I'm doing more rest. That's why I'm getting a higher rate of returns. So with that structures, maybe you are getting 10% of your money, but I'm maybe getting 15 or 16% on my money.
Right.
Okay, and also I'm charging the origination fee from the board. That covers all of my time to do all the due diligence, right? So that's the structures, right? Basically, I'm taking more risk, getting a higher rate of return, and from the origination fee to cover all of my work, and you just sit back and relax with protected with 35% margin at 8% or more, right? The exact interest rate we have to discuss later. Depends on your capital, on what you want to achieve and whatnot, right?
Okay.
And then we have to discuss about that later.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, so that's the overall, and this is basically to give you an idea. I have what I call a 5-step money for life system. Okay.
You're being creative, mister.
So this is how you make your money for life, right? So first step is mastery.
Yeah.
Basically mastering the mortgage investment inside out. Basically this workshop is what I'm doing here.
Right.
I want to share with you all of my experience and knowledge over the years.
Okay.
That's why I have 3 workshops. An introduction like this, and then a detailed due diligence workshop showing you how to do all the due diligence, and then some of those test cases on my peers' transactions that I think will be good to share on what I've learned over the years as well.
Okay.
So this is the first step. I want to make sure you know this investment inside out, so you can make a decision yourself. Does this work for you? Okay, what's the risk level?
Yeah.
At least when I present you with a mortgage summary, you know what to look for.
Right.
You can understand what I'm talking about.
Right.
That's the purpose of this one. I can spend as much time as you need until you are 100% comfortable. Then we'll go to the next step.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So this is the first step. Second step, objective. Once you feel comfortable, you're ready to move forward, then I'm gonna sit down with you on what do you want, what's your objective?
Right.
How much capital do you have to invest? Do you have any particular requirements, right?
Right.
And then what is your end goal? Do you want to generate monthly interest, or do you want to compound your investment for long terms, right? So we're gonna sit down, we're gonna discuss. And then after that, right, need. Basically, I'm gonna customize our lending terms, meeting your needs.
Okay.
So based on what you want to achieve, okay, this is what I think the terms that will meet your requirements.
Right.
Okay, of course, we can discuss in more details, right? And you may already have a terms that you want to work with already, right? And of course, the terms has to be competitive enough to the market,
Right.
in order to find that, right? I mean, if you want to charge 20%, you can't find it. Right? You may be able to find that, but it'll be very, very risky
Right.
at that level, right?
Yeah.
So, and then we're gonna sit down, we'll go together on that, right? And after those 3 steps, then this is where our actual executions.
Right.
I'm gonna find a mortgage investment that's tailored for your investment criteria, meeting your capital source, right? This is the only step that I will actually go and find a mortgage and do the actual investments after those 3 steps. Okay? And then finally, it's all about you. So review your investments periodically, make sure it meets your needs, right?
Yeah.
So this is the 5 steps I put together to make sure your investment is meeting your requirement, meeting your need.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, so I think a lot about the good things, right? But there are risks. Every single investment comes with risk,
Right.
So you have to understand what the risk level, right? These are not all the risks. These are some of the typical things that may come up. And the reason that I want all the workshops, I want you to be able to identify the risk yourself and understand each of those components and be able to review them yourself, right? So something like incorrect validation of ARV. What is ARV? Is it after repair value, or how much the property is worth after the renovations, right? So usually we rely on an appraisers.
Okay.
Every single project will have a local appraiser comes in to determine how much the property is worth at that moment and how much is worth after renovations. Okay, so we have two values. So this is how we try to elevate this potential problems later, right?
Okay.
And then back contractors, it depends on the borrower experience. That's why I want to review how many transactions have you done,
Right.
how many quote have you got from the contractors, what have you done with the contractors, right? Do you go with the cheapest or do you go with the most expensive, right? And also review the property to see whether it makes sense in terms of the renovation that they're planning to do.
Right.
Okay. Additional issues found during rehabs. That's why we want to do inspections. Sometimes when you tear out the wall, then you see some mold inside. That's why people inspector, they have some infrared or moisture detector that will detect what's underneath the walls, right? So that's why we want to see inspections. Now, in those cases where the investors is planning to do a gut renovations, meaning they're gonna take everything out,
Yeah.
replace all the wall, then there's really no point in doing inspections, right?
Right.
So it really depends on the amount of renovation, how old the property is, and to see whether they have done enough walkthrough on the property to make themselves comfortable, right?
Would the inspection be done before you agree on this?
No, it's part of the due diligence period.
Right.
So during the 2 weeks due diligence, this is what I'm gonna do on all of this.
So, isn't that risk like minimized in terms of the inspection risk?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
That's what I mean. Like these are the potential reward, but inspectors sometimes they do make mistakes, right?
Oh, I see. This
Right.
is a risk of them making a mistake.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So this what the common risk. That's what I do to try to alleviate that risk, right?
I see.
And then not every single project that I do in inspections.
Oh.
Inspection is very dependent.
I
After I
see.
talk to the board, do I feel comfortable that this board has sufficient experience or not?
Oh, I see.
And
I see.
To be honest, I don't think an inspector's report has much value.
Oh.
Okay, it depends on the inspector, the experience of that guy. Like
Yes.
a common inspectors, they just walk through the properties,
Yeah.
but they don't really find the important things.
Oh.
Like the nail here pop up there is cosmetic. It doesn't really worth much, right?
Right.
Like I would rather to have a roofer come in look at the roof, that tell me
Oh.
what exactly the roof condition is.
Right.
I would rather to have a foundation guy come in look at the foundation guy, because all the inspector they're doing, this looks like a problem. Go get a structural engineer and look at the foundations.
Oh, really?
That's all they do, right?
Uh-huh.
The roof seems to be a problem. Get a proper roofer come in and review your roof.
Oh.
They always tell you it seems to have some problem. Get a licensed contractor come in and review this in detail.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
So
Okay.
not all of them are the same. Some of those inspectors they actually have some construction experience.
Right.
They can tell you exactly what is wrong with the property.
Oh, I
So
see.
it really depends on the experienced inspectors, right?
Right.
So that's why I've not been making this a hard requirement.
Right.
It really depends on the board experience
Yeah.
and the relationship with the contractors on how well they work together to walk through the properties.
Oh, I see. I see.
Right? So those to me are more valuable by looking at the foundation guy, roof guy, HVAC guy, right? And then that can tell me exactly where there's anything wrong, like electrical or plumbers, right?
Right. Right.
So anyway, but it's still a good indicators, right?
Yes. Yes.
I wouldn't say it's completely useless, right? But it depends, right?
I see. I see.
And then more default. If they don't pay you the interest,
Yeah.
then we have to take back the property. That's why we have to use reasonable LTV, loan to value,
Mm-hmm.
to make sure there's sufficient margins, right?
Right.
Using the 80%, the overall loan have 20% margins, right?
Right.
But the margin increases as the project value goes up.
Right.
Right,
Right.
just like what it is. And then lengthy foreclosure legal process, right? It depends. It depends on which state you are lending in, right? Some state will require like 3 to 4 months to get the foreclosure done. Some require 6 to 9 months, right?
Oh.
So depending on where the property you are lending in,
Yeah.
the rules may be different in terms of the length of the foreclosures, right? And that's why usually we charge a high default interest rate
Yeah.
to try to recover that cost. And then we also require a personal guarantee to be signed,
Oh, I
so
see.
that the board personal asset,
Yeah.
it will be on the line if default.
Right. Right.
Okay. Okay. So these are common issues just to give you an idea, right? So,
Right.
And in summary, so basically this investment vehicle, honestly speaking, this is the only one that has something that will secure your investment, right? A brick and mortar securing your investment, and the collateral worth more than your investment.
Right.
Okay, that's the key, right? And you have full control. You can decide exactly what are the terms that you want before you lend it out, right?
Right.
And then you're getting an above average return. 8% and plus is what I'm offering to people that I can work with them, right? And this is no matter what the market condition. It's not really impacted by the stock market volatilities, right?
Right.
At the macro level, maybe they are related, but at the micro level, I mean, up and down, I don't really care.
Right.
I remember before I do this, I look at the stock market all the time. And I buy the stocks, right? And then I'm losing my sleep. Oh my God, it's coming down. Should I sell? Should I not sell?
Very
Like
nervous.
emotional really kicks in when you buy stocks.
Yeah.
And
That's
you
right.
don't want that, right?
That's
Anyway,
right.
when I look at this one, I don't look at the stock market much anymore. So
That's
it's-
interesting.
It's a peace of mind.
Yeah, peace of mind. That's right.
And it's completely passive.
Yes.
I
yeah.
structure it in a way that you can trust me to do all the work.
Um,
That's why I say it's completely passive, meaning you don't really do anything
That's
except
right.
signing the papers
That's
and,
right.
and depositing the check into the bank account.
That's
Okay?
good. That's
so,
good.
so that's why I really like this. So last slide here. So this is the promises that I give to every single client
Okay.
myself, right? So knowledge will allow you to make informed decisions, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna empower you with all the necessary knowledge and experience by going through all the workshops, by sharing with you all my knowledge and experience, right? My goal there is to give you the ability to determine whether this is the right investment for you. Okay, so basically what I believe is if you don't understand the investment, then you're not investing, you're speculating. Just like Warren Buffett says, he only invests in stuff that he understands.
Right.
That's why he never buy high-tech stuff.
Right.
Okay, so yeah, so that's my number one promises. And my second promise, I'll be financially committed to every single transaction that I bring to the table. I'll be financially contributing to the skin in the game. That's how I can show you I'm so confident about the transactions. Okay, so that's it. That's my workshops. Any questions you want to ask?
Yeah. So, are you involved with Howard or?
Howard is one of my biggest clients.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he does. He definitely invests on this with me for a while now, for almost 2.5 years.
Oh, I
So
see. I
it's
see.
interesting. He has been slowly increasing his investment amount.
Oh, I see. I
And that's
see.
why he loved it.
Right.
I mean, he does a lot of real estate investment too from before, right?
Right.
So that's why he can understand the beauty of this investment compared to the rental property,
Right.
compared to the apartment building. Like for myself, I flip properties in Georgia. I bought rental property in Arizona and Georgia, right? Like people think rental property is passive income. And for me, it's not really passive
You have to manage it, right?
until you have spent a lot of time to put together a team.
Oh,
Then it could be passive.
right. Yeah.
But
yeah.
it's not. Like when you find a property management company, you still have to manage your property management company to manage your property.
That's right. That's
It's
right.
not hands off.
That's right.
And for the property, rental property I've invested, I actually switched 6 property management companies
Oh,
in order to find one that's really working for me.
I see. I
So
see.
to me, those passive income from rental, there's quite a bit of ramp up time
Yeah.
to get to that level.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why I like this. It's a lot less work.
Yeah.
The return may be lower, but then it's a lot less work, a lot more secured.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And I don't have to worry about all those tenants burning my properties.
Right. Right.
Damaging
Yeah. Things that
properties, right?
could
So,
go wrong.
Yeah, like I remember I was so scared when my property manager calls me.
Oh. Did you do it with Howard?
No, I did not invest on the apartment buildings. I
Oh.
bought the single family. My first rental property, I bought it with Howard.
Oh.
And then after that, I bought my own rental property, and then I
Okay.
do my own flips
I
in Georgia.
see.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I did not invest on the apartment building.
So in this company, Howard is your client. You don't really work with him.
No, he's just basically a client
Right.
of me, right? So
Right.
this is my company. Every single transaction, I am the one in second positions, and then there'll be just other lenders.
Oh, okay.
But on every single project, there's only two lenders: myself and my investors. So we
Then-
don't.
then how do you get the relation with? Because it's in the States, right? And
Yeah.
you live here. So how do you know like the people there?
Well, that's why for the appraisers, I have to use my own appraisers to go and review the properties, right? I have local personnel that
Yeah.
will go and review the properties, right?
Right.
And then the board step back a bit. So remember I told you I did flip property before?
Yeah.
So I joined real estate investment mentorship program. And that program is called Fortune Builders.
Okay.
Okay, that's how I gain all my knowledge and experience in buying property to flip to rental and whatnot, right? And I joined it about 2011 or 12, right?
Right.
And then basically right now I'm lending exclusively in that community.
Mm-hmm.
So that Fortune Builders a mentorship program right now is about 18,000 members across the state.
Oh, I see. I
That's
see.
how I find all the boards, because every single people who join that program,
Yeah.
they have to pay at least $25,000 to join.
Oh, well.
Yeah, so it's not cheap.
But it's a one-time fee.
One-time fee.
Yeah.
Once
So-
you join, you are part of the communities.
Right.
They have a lot of training. They have coach. They teach you for the first 12 months extensive training to get you to a level. But it's a lot of hard work.
Oh.
Knowledge is one thing.
Yeah.
Execution is another thing.
Yeah.
You need to do a lot of marketing, finding the deals, talking to the realtors, go out and network, and basically make yourself visible in those industries, right?
I see. Yeah,
Right.
I see something like this. I'm probably a little different on like
Right.
YouTube, right? Like talking about passive income, all those
Yeah,
things.
right.
But I was thinking, wow, it's like
Yeah.
auto studying. but
Yeah,
but you
yeah.
make it easier. I can just invest.
Of course, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, those will work,
Yeah.
but you have to put in a lot of time.
Exactly.